Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday show. We are back to our original format. For a couple of weeks, I don't have interview scheduled until August the 16th on a Sunday, so we will be joining you all next Sunday also. But I hope everybody had a fantastic day. I'm just trying to let everybody know that I am live. Uh, and I'm just letting everybody know that I'm live. Do, 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 do. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get this, just to get this all, trying to uh, get this all squared away. Hope everybody's doing okay. Again, it's been raining for like the past 2 to 3 days here. I'm like, okay, can it please stop raining? But looks like everything's gonna clear up. It hasn't rained in a couple hours, so hopefully that's all good. Before we get started, we're gonna get some bills paid. Hit that subscribe button, hit it, smash it, obliterate it, destroy it. We have still 428 in terms of subscribers. We need 72 more to get to our magic number of 500. Um, please subscribe. Subscribing is literally free, doesn't cost you anything to do. Hit that, smash that, obliterate, destroy that. Um, um, Subscribe button, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. You can support me on Patreon. Patreon support costs $2 per month. It helps me to buy better equipment, better another computer, better lighting, those type of things. So if you could find it in your heart to support me for $2 a month, I would greatly appreciate that. You can also contribute to my personal GoFundMe page. Like I said, I'm trying to raise $2,500 to take care of some catastrophic things that have happened to me, which I haven't really gotten into, but I promise I will be doing that. It's just I've been straggled down with interviews, but trust and believe all that's going to that and not like partying or eating out, none of that stuff. So just know that. Contribute to the First Baptist Church North Drama Academy, a program I've started for inner city youth to teach them the fundamentals in drama. And that will conclude with a play. Our goal is to raise $10,000. Your contribution of one, two, or $10,000 is greatly appreciated. And finally, follow me on Rumble. And big, big, huge announcement. I've been waiting a long, long, long time to make this announcement. This is the last Sunday without football. It's been a long, long, long summer. Preseason starts with the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, August the 6th. That means in 4 days, we're going to get some preseason football. I, 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 my whole heart is full. Like, you don't even know, like, the joy I feel, the This is the last Sunday without football. The preseason starts Thursday, August the 6th, and then the season, let me tell you how many days until we kick off the season. How many days? We have 38 days. 38 days from today. The NFL season will kick off. I believe it's Seattle Seahawks versus who they play in the Super Bowl? The Patriots. I think it's a rematch of the last Super Bowls. That's the way they've been doing it. Anyway, I know some people this is just football. I don't care. Well, I do. So I'm just super, super, super excited that preseason football starts this Thursday. Um, we have a big show. Um, I'm trying to find a list of topics because I don't want to forget anything. We've got a lot to discuss. I mean, a lot. Uh, so we got Medicare Part D is disappearing. Um, we got Ukraine for some reason striking Israel. And I'm typing these out so I can remember not to cut across something. Um, we have big news. We're going to talk about some primaries that are coming up this coming week. We're going to talk about Michigan, um, St. Louis, and maybe Wisconsin. Um, and I want to talk about, um, I don't know if I want to talk about this. And thank goodness the media isn't, you know what? I'm not going to talk about Troy Jackson. I'm not going to talk about Troy Jackson. Let's see. Oh, uh, uh, we may talk about Troy Jackson being in a relationship with his cousin. Probably won't because I think I have more important things to talk about. So let's get started. I do want to talk about something else though. I know what I want to talk about. So uh we'll talk about church mothers needed. So those are the four things we will talk about. We'll talk about Medicare Part D is disappearing, Ukraine strikes um Iran, um we'll talk about the Michigan senator's race primary. We'll talk about the St. Louis primary. We'll talk about, and then we'll talk about church mothers, why I think we really need them. So let's just hit this and hit it good. So, Medicare D, um, technically is not disappearing, but I'm saying it pretty much is. It's the temporary federal subsidy program that kept monthly premiums low is ending after 2026, which means it's disappearing. The Trump administration and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services announced this conclusion of the Part D premium stabilization demonstration, which may lead to higher out of cost premiums to some recipients next year. So the temporary federal program created to cushion insurance companies' costs following the Inflation Reduction Act's $2,000 of out-of-pocket caps will expire. So people that were on Medicare were receiving $2,000 to kind of help their costs in terms of paying for, because Part D, you got Part A, which is free, Part B, which you pay for. There's no thing as Part C, but Part D, which I think covers prescriptions and some vision, that's what seniors are paying for. Um, most they're trying to sell it like, oh, it's only going to rise by $10, but experts say, of course, it's not. And um, I'm gonna share a video because I want to. Um, they keep saying it's not ending, but it probably is going to end. I mean, it's ending. Why don't they just say it's ending? Because if people were using that subsidy to pay for it, you aren't getting like your Social Security. If you receive Social Security and you were using that to pay for your Part D, um, that $2,000 helped. So how just semantics. Um, I'm trying to find a good clip to show, and this is just uh, uh I just don't want to go Medicare Part D ending. Okay, so we're gonna get a short because all these are like 17 minutes and I don't want to play all of that. Um um Do, 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 do. I'm finding it, yeah. Okay, so we'll use this one. We'll use this one. Well, we're not going to use that. We're going to stop sharing because that's got music in the background. So we're going to try one more time. Because what I wanted, what I'm trying to do is give me here Andy. Um, okay. Uh, I promise y'all I'm getting it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this site is called Medicare Part D. So the channel host is called Medicare Made Simple with Craig Smith. Hopefully Craig doesn't mind me using what he's doing. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna share this.
Seven changes to Medicare prescription coverage. Look, if you or a loved one rely on Medicare, You're definitely going to want to pay close attention to this because these changes, they could seriously reshape your monthly expenses. Which leads us straight to the multi-million-dollar question that's honestly keeping a lot of seniors up at night. Are your Medicare premiums actually changing in 2027? Well, the short answer is yes. For a significant number of people, they absolutely will. And to really understand why that's happening, we have to take a look at the money that's currently holding those premiums down. $3.6 billion. That is a
But
massive
we
number,
just
right?
sent
That
Israel
represents
billions
the
of
estimated
dollars. I
subsidy
mean, I
going
don't
directly to
know.
insurance companies this year alone. Now, the whole purpose of this money has been to basically act as a shield, blunting the premium increases for Medicare prescription plans, which you probably know as Part D. However, the Trump administration recently announced plans to eliminate this exact subsidy program, and that is setting the stage for some pretty major market shifts. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover the Part D subsidy sunset, the impact on senior premiums, the administration's argument,
We're gonna
why
play
costs
this
are
whole
rising,
thing. Well,
and
I'll play about
finally,
5
the
minutes.
shift
I'm
toward
not gonna play
Medicare
the whole
Advantage.
thing.
Let's dive in.
And
Section 1,
Medicare
the
Advantage
Part
has
D subsidy
serious
sunset, or
problems.
in other
I'll take
words,
this
the
one
end of a
first.
multi-billion-dollar program.
Okay, so according to a report from the Government Accountability Office, an estimated $9.8 billion was pumped into this market to act as a sort of financial shock absorber. The breakdown over
But
time is
we
actually
are
staggering.
spending
We
billions
saw
in
a
Iran, but
$6.2
hey,
billion
whatever.
subsidy in 2025, dropping to $3.6 billion in 2026, but by 2027, the faucet turns off completely. According to administration officials, the program is simply not being renewed after 2026.
And
So who
why?
exactly is caught in the middle of all this? Roughly
Senior
25
citizens.
million people. That's how many individuals currently hold these Part D plans. And the absolutely crucial point here is that they won't have to wait until January 2027 to feel the impact. No, these 25 million enrollees are going to learn about their new 2027 rates in the fall of the preceding year. So the clock is ticking a lot faster than it might seem on paper. Moving right along to Section 2, impact on senior premiums. Let's look at what this actually means for those 25 million enrollees.
And I'll stop
Now,
after
the
this.
administration's projections show that this isn't going to be just one uniform hike across the board. For about 25% of enrollees, premiums are actually going to stay flat or maybe even drop a bit next year. Another 30%, they'll see a slight increase of less than $10 a month. But for the largest
See
chunk,
that
45% of
I gotta,
enrollees, you should
I
expect
gotta,
to see somewhere between $11 and
do
$20 added to your monthly bill. To really understand the weight of that $11 to $20 increase, we need a little context. According to KFF, which is a health policy nonprofit, the average premium for a Part D plan was hovering around $36 a month this year. Think about that. When your baseline is just $36, a sudden jump of 11 to 20 bucks, that is a massively significant percentage increase, especially for
true.
someone who's managing a very strict monthly budget. So what's the administration's advice for avoiding that hike? Well, shop
Don't
around.
be old.
They maintain that affordable options are
So here's what I want people to get, right? They want you to switch to Medicare Advantage. And Medicare Advantage has a whole lot of problems. And I'm just going to read you some of the problems with Medicare Advantage. Um, so Medicare Advantage plans have major issues, including restrictive doctor networks, prior authorization delays, and unpredictable annual changes. So, in other words, you'll get a plan this year, but it may in 2027 because that's when the program is scheduled to cut off. But you may not get that same plan in 2028. Other problems with Medicare Advantage include, let me give you some more here. Again, um, they tout lower premiums, and extra perks, but these are private plans, um, that create heavy financial burdens for its users. So while they're saying, "Oh, it could be 11 to 20," if you believe that, the moon, I'll sell it to you for $14.55. Um, so again, I said that there was access and approval barriers. prior authorizations. Insurers frequently require advance approval for treatments, tests, or specialist visits. Think about podiatry, think about cardiologists, think about physical therapy, think about home care, which can delay or block necessary medical care. Strict networks. You must use specific local doctors and hospitals. Going out of network usually costs more and has no coverage at all. So if you can't find an in-network doctor because they can't see you for 6 months or 3 weeks, or 3 weeks, anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months, and you go out of network, that's your own cost. Um, then there are travel limits. Unlike original Medicare, these plans generally do not cover non-emergency care outside of your local service area. So no primary doctor visits. Now you'll say, oh, well, that's covered under Part B. But remember, Part B does not cover everything. We'll talk about Part B here in just a moment. There's also a financial and market risk. There's higher out of pocket costs. While premiums can be low, co-pays, and see, that's what they didn't mention, co-pays and co-insurances add up, and yearly spending caps can reach thousands of dollars. So if you're paying co-pays and co-insurance, you're already at a disadvantage. Constant plan changes. Insurers insurers can change costs, benefits, and doctor networks every single year or drop medical providers mid-year. So if you're seeing Dr. I don't know Smith from January to June, that doctor may not be, and that doctor says, I'm not taking Medicare anymore. It's too many problems. You could get switched to a doctor. So now you don't even have the ability to pick your own doctors. Well, you get to pick among a list. Let me backtrack. You do get to pick among a list. Um, Leaving, like if you switch back, leaving a Medicare Advantage plan later in life to get original Medicare and supplemental Medigap policies can be difficult or expensive due to health underwriting rules in most states. So you have to think, then what are the issues with, because I say, well, um, Part B, because Part B, this is where um Part B is. Now, Part B Medicare, just so you all know, Part B Medicare is medical insurance that covers doctor's visits, outpatient care, and preventative services. Whereas Part A is just hospitalization normally. Um, these funds, like Part D, would come out of, if we're talking about our elderly population, would come out of their Social Security checks, 401ks, etc. So what are the problems with Part B, with Medicare Part B? So the problem with Medicare Part B are exactly the same thing. So you have high and rising premiums. The standard Part B premium, which again comes out of retirement or Social Security, ranges from $202, and this is per month, to $689.90 per month, based off of income. So higher earners, or those who get higher Social Security pay, are going to face higher surcharges. There's also administrative overcharges. Government audits show administrative errors occasionally lead to beneficiaries being incorrectly overcharged or assessed wrong penalties. There are permanent penalties. Missing enrollment deadlines adds a permanent 10% penalty to the monthly premium for every 12 months a person delays without qualifying treatment. So if you, for some reason, just went without you're paying a 10% penalty on your monthly cost. Then there's enrollment pitfalls. You have confusing timelines. People turning 65 who delay Social Security must manually track a strict 7-month enrollment window. So when a person turns 65, 7 months before then, they have to register. Misunderstood exceptions, relying on COBRA or retired health plans instead of active employee coverage does not count to delay a Part B safely, triggering unexpected penalties. Then you have coverage gaps. So you're missing the essentials. Original Part B does not cover routine dental care, eye exams, glasses, hearing aids, or most prescription drugs. That's what Part D handles. So then there's coinsurance. Enrollees still pay a 20% coinsurance for most doctor services and medical equipment after meeting their annual deductible. And deductible, again, is based off of income. So you have this super confusing thing that's happening, and we're expected to just say, okay. And like I said, they didn't tell the part about the copays. They said, oh, well, your costs only go up $11 to $20. No thing about copays, no things about coinsurance. That will get you. And so this is coming. This is actually coming. So like I said, they said it was coming in the fall, and this is like almost end of summer. So this is going to happen within the next few weeks. And I don't know why I am so late to this game, because this is a game changer in the worst way possible. This is not good. It's not good at all. This is why we need Medicare for all or universal health care. This literally, you shouldn't have to go through all of this copay and coinsurance and deductibles and out-of-pocket max. It just doesn't make sense. And keep in mind, Medicare Advantage is administered by insurance companies. So you don't get the government administering Part A, B, and D. Yeah, because I don't think there's a Part C. I don't think there's a Part C. Uh, Let me check. I'm pretty sure there's not a Part C. Medicare Part C. Um, oh, well, Medicare Part C, yes, there is, but that's an original alternative to Medicare offered by private insurance companies. So A, B, D is sold by the government. Part C is sold by the government. Um, but again, you were talking about co-pays. Um, who administers Medicare Part D? I thought this was the insurance, private insurance. Yeah, so Medicare Part D is administered by private insurance companies approved by the federal government, and they have oversight from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS. Um, of course, I said they cover standalone prescription drug plans. Um, they have private management, et cetera, et cetera. Um, just I don't even know how to prepare for this. I don't know what we're gonna do to help our seniors. Um, who and I want to know who voted to like do this. Okay? So I know Trump signed it, but what members? Let me see, because I'm real curious about Okay, so um well, Congress didn't approve it. This is the Trump administration doing this. So why doesn't Congress fight back? Uh, and they keep saying, "Oh, it's not going to end," but you're not getting the $2,000 support payment that's coming. Um, and what? Okay, so now the next question is, why is the federal premium debilitation subsidy program ending? So yeah, I want to see what they say about this, because this is where this is a question should be it. So why ending? Okay, it's because they're gonna say because Trump said so. This um oh, listen to this crap. So the temporary centers for Medicare and Medicaid services, Part D premium stabilitation demonstration program is ending after 2026 because administrative administration officials argue that private insurance companies have had enough time to adjust to new rules, and continuing the multi-billion dollar federal payments is no longer necessary. Reasons for ending the program: Trump's an idiot. Let's just put it like that. So insurers have adapted. The Centers for Medicare Medicaid Services stated that the plan provides now have enough market experience and data to set up their own prices without federal help. Shift away from bailouts. Current administration leadership, including CMS Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz, argue that continuing to give billions of taxpayer funds directly to private insurance companies functions like an unneeded corporate bailout than a transitional tool. But hey, we'll give all of our money to Israel. We'll give money to fund the Iran wars. Sure. I mean, makes perfect sense to me. The original design of the 9.8 billion dollar program was always meant to be a short-term cushion to help manage the rollout of the 2000 out-of-pocket spending cap under the Inflation Reduction Act. Um, I You're sitting here saying it's a we're gonna uh end bailouts, but you're way okay. Um, I'm looking to see, are there any Medicare Part D program protests, and I'm not seeing any. Um, I don't see anything. Nope, don't see anything, don't see a response to it. So that's what's happening on the Medicare D um program. Let me see if there's something on Facebook. Maybe Medicare Part D protest. Um, 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 I don't see anything that says this. Uh, I don't see any type of protest on. So if anybody knows of a protest, please let me know. So we're gonna move on to our next um thing, which kind of shocked me. I don't know why Ukraine is dropping bombs on Iran. And I'm just because aren't they in a war with um Russia? Um, let's see if I can. Ukraine conducted a long. No, I'm gonna let this video play and then I'm gonna come back because I'm like, okay, so I don't know why they're targeting, and then I'm gonna come back, but no, that's 10 hours. So we're gonna give you a shorter one. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. Nope, we're not gonna go with that one. So sorry guys, this is why I need two computers. This is why I need two computers. I'm not gonna ever show anything on. Okay. Trying to um I don't know why this isn't coming up the way I want it to. Yeah, okay, so finally found it. I'm like, okay. Okay, so this is from CNN. And let me just go here before and then I'll read the article. Okay, so I'll show some of this clip, not gonna show the whole thing. Um, uh, why didn't I find that window, guys? I'm so sorry. Let me get this share screen. And again, this is from CNN. We're only going to play a couple minutes of this, not too much.
Appear to ramp up between the US and Iran. Tehran is now embroiled in another conflict. In a stunning development, Iran claims Ukraine attacked one of its vessels in the Caspian Sea over the weekend. Now, Ukraine's president says drones targeted several ships which were transporting military cargo from Iran to Russia. That's the story out of Ukraine. Iran says at least one person was killed and 3 injured and is now threatening Ukraine. This all comes as US military operations against Iran do appear to be on hold. But despite the US signaling new diplomatic efforts, Tehran insists Washington will not determine the timing of this war. Look, from Europe to the Gulf, we are following all sides of this evolving story for you. Today, we've got Claire Sebastian in London. Lenny Jokos is in Dubai.
So that's pretty much the gist of it. But if you think, I have to wonder, okay, again, because they're warring with Russia, so they bomb Iran. that doesn't make sense to me. And I guess I keep just wondering, why did Ukraine bomb Iran? Um, I just had it. I'm trying to see this is just this is leading to, and I hope I'm wrong. This is just like World War III. And I never thought, this is what I would see. You got Ukraine out here bombing, but they're not joining US Israel forces. Are they doing this to get back on the side, the positive side of the US, because the US has cut funding to Ukraine in terms of its war with Russia? Or is it because Russia supports Iran that Ukraine is bombing them? It might be both. I don't know, but I just thought this is really weird that that's happening, and I don't know why it's happening. Um, but I just thought, let's just talk about it a bit before I move on to my next subject. So I'm going to spend the majority of time here. So, there are primaries coming up on August the 4th. It's a big day, big, big, big day. So you have the Haley, I love what I am Blakely calls her, Haley Israeli Stevens versus, I'm going to get this right, Abdul Saeed, I hope I got that right, who's running for United States Senate in the state of Michigan. And so that primary is August the 4th. The Republicans have only that one guy running. And I want to so bad play, and if I can find this, I'm going to, because if you watch the debates, just want to there was a debate, and I'm not going to show all of it, but it was just embarrassing. It was like, girl, sit down. I'm trying to find a good portion of it. Yeah, I'll do this one. I'll do this one and share this, and then I'm going to come back and talk about this. Okay, so let's just show this. This is from Fox 2 in Detroit. So this is actually from Michigan, not from me, but this is from Michigan. So this is only 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
It is the final weekend of campaigning for the Democrats running to take on Republican Senate candidate Mike Rogers in November. Congresswoman Haley Stevens and Dr. Abdul El Sayed have several campaign events ahead of Tuesday's primary.
He canceled
as the tensions heat up.
Donald Trump is not himself the disease. He's just the worst symptom of the disease of our politics. The disease It's the system that allows billionaires and corporations and special interests like AIPAC to buy and sell politicians to rig the system against us.
Tonight, Democratic Senate candidate Dr. Abdul El-Sayed stumping in Dearborn just days before voters decide whether he or Congresswoman Haley Stevens will face lone Republican Mike Rogers for the Senate in November.
When people say we don't know if he's electable, it seems like they're talking about me, about my name, about my faith. But that's actually not what they're talking about. See, there's nobody with more political experience being named Abdul, except for maybe the mayor of Dearborn, than me in all of Michigan. I'm pretty good at being a guy named Abdul in Michigan. You know what they're talking about? Talking about all of us.
The Stevens-El-Sayed race is considered the most expensive Democratic Senate primary ever, according to campaign finance data. And the Barbs traded in their final debate right here on Fox 2 this past Monday, continued Friday with Stevens hitting back at her challenger's claim that she's, quote, the least capable candidate in America. Stevens said on X, Abdul, we were both on the ballot in 2018. I was capable of winning my competitive primary and general election. You lost. You lost by over 20 points to Governor Whitmer, and you will lose to Mike Rogers by talking like this. We asked the voters what they think of all the bitterness and what really matters to them.
I'm focused on what the information that y'all have to help the community besides throwing jabs at each other. I think that's more so for social media and not helping us at all. So give us more information about the work that you bring in, what you're going to do to help Michigan.
I think that's like the biggest thing. I mean, there's definitely like probably some undecided voters closer to, which maybe a couple little things might sway them, but I think everyone kind of has their candidate made up by now.
So I would be remiss if I didn't say that maybe I'm not as informed as I need to be about next week's primary specifically. For me, when it comes to elections, I'm more so focused on who has the heart of the people. Like I know people focus on the economy. I know people focus on certain policies. I mean, I think we're all like one policy voters. One policy either makes or breaks us. So for me, I'm just more focused on who cares more about the overall community.
And we're following the numbers. A new poll from Emerson College shows El-Sayed leading Stevens 54 to 39%.
Your nonprofit could be losing
So,
money on
in
every
other
ticket.
words, we're going to cut there because that's a commercial, so we're not going to show that. Right now, if you go by polling, Syed would win. But you got to figure out, well, if Syed wins, what is his chances against the Republican? And that's what people aren't taking into account. So I don't see any. Yeah, so right now, Rogers is beating Syed by 10 points in a hypothetical matchup. So if he wins the Democratic nomination, the Republicans still pick up that Senate seat in Michigan, right? Because right now he's down by 10 points. So especially, well, let's see. I'm trying to think here. But then another poll says, the Working Families poll says he has a slight lead over Rogers, 46 to 48. That isn't, there's a lot of work to do. So even if he wins the election on Tuesday, he's got to beat, if he wants to be senator, obviously, then he's got to beat Rogers, who in one poll, he's down by 10 points. Another poll, it's just right there and it's too close to call. I'm trying to. And keep in mind this, Rogers ran unopposed. So um I don't know if she loses. Will she support him? I don't think she will. I think this is gonna be another Puma type of thing. Um, they're gonna have to put a lot of money into his campaign. And then all the AIPAC money is gonna go to Rogers, right? So and I'm trying to look to see if I can just get a more of a sense of this. Of course, there's no independents vote running, so I can't support them. Um, um, so Syed currently, according to this poll, I don't know which poll this is, the Zenith Research poll has Syed beating Rogers 45 to 42, not sure 13. If Haley Stevens runs, she would actually beat Rogers 43 to 42 with 13% unsure. So, but she's losing. So, yeah. So Rogers doesn't get above 42% in either of the polls. Um, I don't know what it's going to take to win, but I can say this, there's a lot of work to do. If you're that close and it's not even, let's see, it's like what, August, trying to get like a um they give Wesley Bell a chance, a 67% chance of winning, but that's a betting website. I don't want to go with that one. Okay. It's a high, and this is a highly democratic district. So whoever the Democrat is, they not going there's not going to be a Republican challenger. So whoever wins this is pretty much going to win in November. Um um there is really no polling. I cannot find any polling. Um I can tell you this. Let me tell you this important fact. How much a pack money does Wesley Bell have? So Wesley Bell has received $2.5 million in APAC money. Corey Bush has received zero. He also got super PAC money from a group called United Democracy Project. Uh, but that was it back in 2024. I am that's 61%. Like I said, he received $2.5 million from APAC, and that's 61% of his total campaign budget. So mostly you can literally say that most of his money comes from APAC. That's where it's coming from. And so those are the elections that we'll watch. Like I said, whoever, if Syed actually wins, he's still 10 points down to Rogers and has a whole lot of work to do. Whoever wins in the Bush um, APAC bill race pretty much is going to win theirs. And that's just, I just don't even, there's no polling for me to even tell you guys. So when I said, okay, so when I said who is leading in the Cory Bush, yeah, even when I typed in who's leading, um, it says that Wesley APAC bill is leading, but it doesn't tell like what the percentage is. Um, let's see. That's Kelsey again. Da 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 da. Yeah, they're just not telling. Okay, they're not giving any type of numbers, and this is annoying. But it is August the 4th, so we'll keep watching that. I'm hoping she wins, but I got this sick feeling that APAC Bill is just gonna be back, and I'm just like, ugh, no. St. Louis, do something right. Do anything right. Okay, last topic. I said I was going to talk about why church mothers need to be back. I'm going to put that off until next week. Um, just because I'm just today I'm very pooped out. I'm pooped out. Um, I know that I do have an interview on August the 16th with a candidate that's going to be coming in. So there won't be a Sunday show that date. But in terms of this coming week, um, we have Tanya Hudson coming up on Thursday. We have the Saturday show, both at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel, like this channel, comment on the page, subscribe to the channel. So remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe, and finally, like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week. I will see you all on Thursday. And remember, there are 38 fabulous days. This is the last Sunday without football, and I couldn't be more excited. Let's go. Have a great week. Bye bye.